Wait, nobody expected this from Jay Leno. If these words caught your attention, it's because what you're about to hear is one of the most shocking and controversial chapters in the life of a man millions believed was untouchable. Today we dive into the heartbreaking truth behind the headline Jay Leno is saying goodbye after a tragic diagnosis, a story filled with untold secrets, emotional revelations, and an unexpected twist that has left fans around the world stunned. For decades, Jay Leno was the face of late-night television, the man who made America laugh even on its darkest days. But behind the cameras, something painful was unfolding, something he kept hidden until now. Many claim the industry turned its back on him when he needed it most. Others say he was forced into silence by pressures no one could imagine. And now his sudden farewell raises the most controversial question of all. What really happened to Jay Leno? Before we continue, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe, because your support helps YouTube understand that this story matters and pushes it to reach more people who also deserve to know the truth. Subscribing isn't just a click. It tells the platform that you want real stories, real investigations, and real answers, and it helps this channel keep bringing you content that the media often avoids. And as you listen, comment below and tell me what shocked you the most, what moment hit you hardest, or which part of Jay's journey you never expected to hear. Your comment not only joins the conversation, but also boosts this video's visibility so more people can react, share, and uncover the truth together. Stay with me until the very end, because the final revelation about Jay Leno's condition and what he decided to do next is something you will never forget. A moment so powerful, so unexpected, that it may completely change the way you see him. Your jaw might truly drop. Let's begin. Jay Leno, born James Douglas Muir Leno on April 28, 1950, in New Rochelle, New York, grew up with an unstoppable curiosity and a sharp sense of humor that defined him long before he ever stepped onto a stage. Raised in a hard-working family, his mother a Scottish immigrant and his father an Italian-American insurance salesman, Jay learned early the value of discipline, persistence, and the power of making people laugh. As a child, he struggled academically due to dyslexia, but instead of letting it become a barrier, he transformed it into motivation, sharpening his wit and storytelling skills as a way to stand out. In the late 1960s, Jay moved to Boston to study speech therapy at Emerson College, where he also founded a comedy club that became the birthplace of his stand-up journey. During the 1970s, he slowly climbed the comedy ladder, performing in small clubs, sleeping in his car, and taking any gig he could find. His breakthrough came with multiple appearances on The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson, where his sharp observational humor won America over. By 1992, after years of dedication, he was chosen to replace Carson and became the iconic host of The Tonight Show, a role that defined an entire era of television. Jay's reign brought record-breaking ratings, memorable interviews, and a unique connection with viewers who saw him as both a comedian and a trusted nightly companion. Outside TV, he became widely admired for his incredible car collection, mechanical skills, and down-to-earth personality, often spotted working on engines himself despite his massive success. After stepping down from The Tonight Show, Jay continued entertaining audiences with Jay Leno's Garage, combining comedy, storytelling, and his passion for machines. Through decades of fame, challenges, and reinvention, Jay Leno built a legacy rooted not only in laughter, but in resilience, humility, and an unwavering love for the craft of making people smile. 1. The sudden revelation of his diagnosis. The sudden revelation of Jay Leno's diagnosis sent shockwaves through the entertainment world and left fans around the globe in a state of disbelief. For decades, Jay was seen as the unstoppable late-night host with an endless supply of energy, charm, and humor, someone who always seemed larger than life and untouchable by any misfortune. So when the news broke that he had been facing a serious health condition, it felt almost unreal to many. What made this revelation even more striking was how private Jay had kept his struggles, never letting the public or even casual fans see the challenges he was quietly enduring behind the scenes. The announcement came through a carefully orchestrated statement, emphasizing both transparency and dignity, and it immediately prompted an outpouring of concern and support from fellow celebrities, comedians, and millions of viewers who had grown up watching him. People were surprised not only by the severity of the diagnosis, but also by the timing. As Jay appeared in public and on television looking as energetic and charismatic as ever, creating a stark contrast between his public persona and the private reality he had been confronting. The revelation sparked deep conversations about the pressures of the entertainment industry, where performers often feel compelled to appear flawless and unaffected, no matter what they are enduring personally. Fans expressed a mix of shock, empathy, and admiration, recognizing that someone who had given so much laughter to the world was now in a vulnerable position that demanded courage and honesty. Social media exploded with messages of support, hashtags celebrating his career, and personal stories from fans who shared how his humor had brightened their lives, making the news feel both tragic and profoundly human. Journalists and entertainment analysts began exploring the implications of the diagnosis on his career and legacy, while simultaneously reflecting on the emotional toll it must have taken for Jay to carry this private burden for so long. Ultimately, the sudden revelation of Jay Leno's diagnosis was not just a moment of shock. It was a powerful reminder that behind every public figure lies a deeply personal journey, one filled with struggles, resilience, and the quiet strength it takes to face life's most unexpected challenges while continuing to inspire millions. 2. The private battle he kept hidden for years. For years, Jay Leno faced a private battle that very few people knew about, a struggle that he carefully concealed behind his trademark smile, quick wit, and relentless energy. While millions saw the confident, larger-than-life late-night host who could command any stage and bring laughter to countless households, very little was known about the physical and emotional challenges he quietly endured. Despite his public persona of invincibility, Jay often dealt with the kind of medical issues that can shake anyone's sense of stability, from ongoing fatigue to persistent pain and the fear that his condition could interfere with the work he loved most. Friends and colleagues have hinted at his incredible work ethic, often marveling at how he would push through long tapings, travel extensively, and maintain an active schedule without showing any signs of struggle. Behind closed doors, however, it was a different story. Jay had to make difficult choices daily, balancing doctor visits, treatments, and personal care while keeping his professional commitments intact. He chose silence not out of secrecy alone, but out of a deep respect for his audience and a desire to protect the joy and entertainment he provided, never wanting to burden fans with worry or disrupt the laughter he worked so hard to create. This private battle also included moments of fear and doubt, times when the uncertainty of the future weighed heavily on him. Yet he consistently demonstrated resilience, discipline, and an extraordinary ability to compartmentalize, allowing him to perform at his best while quietly managing a health challenge that could have stopped him in his tracks. The intensity of this hidden struggle reminds us that public figures, no matter how charismatic or strong they appear, are human beings with vulnerabilities and fears, fighting battles that the world may never see. Jay's decision to keep his condition private for so long is a testament to his dedication to his craft, his unwavering commitment to entertaining others, and his courage in facing adversity alone. It also deepens the admiration of fans worldwide, showing that behind every smile and every joke there could be profound strength and quiet determination. The story of his private battle is not just about the physical or medical challenge itself, but about the resilience of the human spirit, the power of perseverance, and the lengths someone will go to continue bringing joy to others, even while facing one of life's toughest personal trials. 3. The tough decision to step away from the spotlight. Making the decision to step away from the spotlight was one of the most difficult moments in Jay Leno's life and career, a choice that required immense reflection, courage, and honesty with himself. For decades, Jay had been the face of late-night television, a constant presence in the homes of millions, known for his humor, energy, and ability to connect with people on a deeply personal level. The idea of walking away from something that had defined him for so long was emotionally overwhelming. He had built his career from the ground up, working tirelessly in comedy clubs, small venues, and countless auditions, always striving for excellence. And to leave that behind was not simply a professional decision. It was a deeply personal one. The decision became unavoidable after the onset of his diagnosis, which forced him to consider the long-term impact on his health and quality of life. Jay realized that continuing under the demanding schedule of nightly shows could put undue strain on his body, compromise his well-being, and even prevent him from enjoying the moments with family and friends that had suddenly become more precious. The struggle to accept this reality was intensified by his natural desire to entertain, to be there for fans who had supported him for decades, and to maintain the identity he had so carefully cultivated over years of dedication. It was not a decision made lightly. Countless sleepless nights, private discussions with loved ones, and consultations with medical professionals all contributed to his final choice. Jay understood that stepping away did not mean giving up, but rather redefining success on his own terms, prioritizing health and personal fulfillment without losing the essence of who he was. The emotional weight of this decision also highlighted the human side of fame, showing that even icons face moments of vulnerability and tough choices that require balancing passion with practicality. Fans, colleagues, and the media alike witnessed the grace with which Jay approached this transition, acknowledging the sadness, the nostalgia, and the hope for the future, proving that walking away from the spotlight can be a testament not to weakness, but to wisdom, self-awareness, and the courage to put life itself above professional obligations. Ultimately, his decision is a reminder that sometimes the hardest choices are the ones that allow us to preserve what matters most, and that even legends must recognize their limits while leaving a lasting legacy of laughter, inspiration, and integrity. For the emotional impact on fans and the entertainment industry, the announcement that Jay Leno would be stepping away from the spotlight due to his diagnosis sent ripples of emotion throughout both the entertainment industry and the lives of countless fans around the world, sparking reactions that range from shock and sadness to admiration and gratitude. For decades, Jay had been more than just a television host. He had been a nightly companion, a figure who brought laughter, comfort, and familiarity into the homes of millions, often during moments when the world felt uncertain or chaotic. His humor and presence were not just entertainment. They were a shared experience that connected generations, making his farewell feel intensely personal for those who had grown up watching him. Fans flooded social media with messages expressing disbelief and heartache, sharing memories of favorite sketches, interviews, and late-night moments that had brightened their lives, emphasizing how deeply Jay's work had touched them. In the entertainment industry, colleagues, comedians, producers, and writers reflected on the loss of a legendary figure who had set a standard for professionalism, dedication, and kindness, recognizing that his absence would leave a noticeable void. The emotional impact was heightened by the realization that Jay had carried his struggles privately, meaning that many were only now understanding the full extent of the challenges he faced while continuing to bring joy to others. Industry insiders noted that his departure represented the end of an era, not just for late-night television, but for comedy as a whole, highlighting the unique ability he had to balance humor with empathy and connect with audiences on a human level. The reaction was also a testament to the power of authenticity and resilience. Fans were moved not only by the news itself, but by the grace and courage with which Jay approached his difficult circumstances, showing that vulnerability and strength can coexist. This widespread emotional response underscores the profound influence he had as an entertainer, a public figure, and a human being, illustrating how deeply people invest in those who dedicate their lives to making others smile. In essence, the announcement resonated far beyond the headlines, leaving a legacy of appreciation, empathy, and a reminder that even in times of sadness, the impact of laughter, warmth, and genuine connection can last a lifetime. 5. How the diagnosis changed his priorities and view of life. Receiving a life-altering diagnosis often forces a person to take a step back and reevaluate what truly matters. And for Jay Leno, This moment became a turning point in both his personal life and his perspective on the world. For decades, his days have been dominated by rigorous schedules, nightly performances, interviews, and countless obligations that kept him constantly in the public eye. The diagnosis, however, shifted his focus from maintaining an endless pace of work to embracing what was genuinely important: his health, his family, and the quality of the moments he had left. Suddenly, late-night television and public appearances were no longer the top priority. Instead, Jay began to place value on meaningful connections, time spent with loved ones, and ensuring that his remaining years were fulfilling and purposeful. The realization that life is fragile led him to slow down, to savor experiences he may have previously taken for granted, and to seek balance between his career and personal well-being. He started to embrace a more mindful approach, understanding that laughter and joy are essential not only for others, but for oneself, and that success is not measured solely by fame or ratings, but by the ability to live a life of authenticity and satisfaction. This shift also influenced how he approached his passions, from cars to comedy, focusing on projects that brought genuine happiness rather than simply filling schedules or meeting public expectations. Friends and colleagues noticed a more reflective, appreciative side of Jay, one that celebrated small victories, personal growth, and the beauty of everyday life. The diagnosis forced him to confront mortality and to prioritize what would leave a lasting impact, choosing experiences and relationships that mattered over transient recognition. Fans who followed his journey were inspired by this change, seeing that even someone as iconic and seemingly invincible as Jay Leno could embrace vulnerability, adapt, and find deeper meaning in life's challenges. Ultimately, the diagnosis reshaped his view of success, legacy, and purpose, reminding everyone that life is precious, time is limited, and the way we choose to spend it defines not only our happiness, but also the memories and inspiration we leave behind for those who admire us. 6. His final message and what he wants people to remember. As Jay Leno prepared to step away from the spotlight, he took a moment to reflect deeply on the life he had led, the career he had built, and the legacy he would leave behind, crafting a final message that was both heartfelt and inspiring. Throughout his decades-long career, Jay had been known for his humor, charm, and uncanny ability to connect with audiences, but behind the laughter was a man who understood the importance of authenticity, perseverance, and gratitude. In his final message, he emphasized not only the joy he had experienced in entertaining millions, but also the profound lessons he had learned along the way, lessons about resilience, humility, and the value of cherishing every moment. He wanted fans to remember that life is fleeting and that success is not defined by fame or accolades, but by the impact one has on others, the kindness one shows, and the genuine connections one fosters. Jay reflected on the people who had supported him from the beginning, from his family who offered unwavering love and guidance, to colleagues and mentors who shaped his path, and of course, the fans whose loyalty and laughter had fueled his journey. His message carried a tone of gratitude, encouraging people to appreciate both the small joys and the larger milestones in life, to pursue their passions with dedication, and to never underestimate the power of a positive attitude and a good sense of humor even in the face of adversity. Beyond career advice, Jay's final words conveyed a personal philosophy shaped by decades of experience. That challenges and hardships are an inevitable part of life, but how one faces them defines character, legacy, and personal fulfillment. He expressed hope that his story would inspire others to persevere, to laugh through difficulties, and to embrace life fully, no matter how uncertain or challenging circumstances may become. He also highlighted the importance of living in the moment, maintaining meaningful relationships, and prioritizing well-being over external recognition, reminding fans that personal happiness and health are invaluable treasures. In closing, Jay Leno's final message was a blend of warmth, wisdom, and reflection, leaving behind not just the memory of a beloved entertainer, but the essence of a man who lived authentically, loved deeply, and strived to make a positive difference in the world. He wanted to be remembered not only for the laughs and the late-night legacy, but for the courage, humanity, and heartfelt sincerity he demonstrated in every step of his journey, teaching us all that even in farewells there is hope, gratitude, and inspiration to carry forward. S.J. Leno prepared to step away from the spotlight. He took a moment to reflect deeply on the life he had led, the career he had built, and the legacy he would leave behind, crafting a final message that was both heartfelt and inspiring. Throughout his decades-long career, Jay had been known for his humor, charm, and uncanny ability to connect with audiences. But behind the laughter was a man who understood the importance of authenticity, perseverance, and gratitude. In his final message, he emphasized not only the joy he had experienced in entertaining millions, but also the profound lessons he had learned along the way, lessons about resilience, humility, and the value of cherishing every moment. He wanted fans to remember that life is fleeting and that success is not defined by fame or accolades, but by the impact one has on others, the kindness one shows, and the genuine connections one fosters. Jay reflected on the people who had supported him from the beginning, from his family who offered unwavering love and guidance, to colleagues and mentors who shaped his path, and of course, the fans whose loyalty and laughter had fueled his journey. His message carried a tone of gratitude, encouraging people to appreciate both the small joys and the larger milestones in life, to pursue their passions with dedication, and to never underestimate the power of a positive attitude and a good sense of humor, even in the face of adversity. Beyond career advice, Jay's final words conveyed a personal philosophy shaped by decades of experience. That challenges and hardships are an inevitable part of life, but how one faces them defines character, legacy, and personal fulfillment. He expressed hope that his story would inspire others to persevere, to laugh through difficulties, and to embrace life fully, no matter how uncertain or challenging circumstances may become. He also highlighted the importance of living in the moment, maintaining meaningful relationships, and prioritizing well-being over external recognition, reminding fans that personal happiness and health are invaluable treasures. In closing, Jay Leno's final message was a blend of warmth, wisdom, and reflection, leaving behind not just the memory of a beloved entertainer, but the essence of a man who lived authentically, loved deeply, and strived to make a positive difference in the world. He wanted to be remembered not only for the laughs and the late-night legacy, but for the courage, humanity, and heartfelt sincerity he demonstrated in every step of his journey, teaching us all that even in farewells there is hope, gratitude, and inspiration to carry forward. If Jay Leno's journey touched you, don't forget to hit the like button to show your support and let others discover this story. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss in-depth stories like this. Your subscription helps us bring more real, emotional, and inspiring content straight to you. Share your thoughts in the comments below and tell us what part of Jay's life or final message moved you the most, because your voice is part of this conversation and helps build our community. And make sure to watch until the end of our videos, because the most powerful revelations often come in the last moments, leaving you inspired, amazed, and thinking long after the screen goes dark.